Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Leonard Maganza with Syniti, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT, CDO IQ, and International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. And welcome. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Ethiraj Purushothaman, the head of advanced analytics and data science at Best Buy. So, any advice out there on how you put in a successful data strategy that you can build a successful analytics practice on top of?
Absolutely. So in my role, both as a consultant as well as, as a head of data science for Fortune 50 companies, I have worked on developing data strategy. So there are many different principles that are very important for building a successful data strategy. I just want to highlight a couple of them. One is to make sure that your data strategy is aligned to not only the sources of data. So people always start with the sources of data to make sure that we have the right availability, usability, security, standardization, integrity. But it is equally and more important to also align with the users of data. So always start with the business strategy, objectives, key decisions, and questions, and then use that as an input to create your data strategy and do the right prioritization. That is number one. The second is organizational data strategy, in my view, should have the right flexibility of control and should have the right mix of control and flexibility. See, many organizations, when it comes to data strategy, many of them think of this as more of control. So that's where I feel it has to be the right mix. And the way I think of this is more of a defensive and offensive strategy. So what I mean by defensive strategy is like you focus more on security and compliance because of the regulatory processes. And the offensive strategy is about focusing more on how to find new ways of using the data to solve problems. And I use this windshield wiper analogy where you have to have the right mix of offensive and defensive strategy so that you can continuously make progress. And different industries will have different focus, different emphasis of defense over offense. So for example, retail industry, they are actually going through huge amount of change and competitive pressure. And so they will actually emphasize more on offense over defense. Whereas in the healthcare industry, because they are dealing with a lot of patient data, which is highly sensitive, and there is a lot of security and compliance requirements, they might actually emphasize defense over an offense.
Yeah. Hey, look, I think you're spot on. I love your application of what many would refer to as the engineering triangle, right? Good, faster, cheap. You get two, right? And you've got to find that balance between control and flexibility, right? And federating out maybe the data work to the people who know it best out in the field, but providing some oversight so you get quality and interoperability. That's good. I'm going to combine my next two questions together, and here's the idea, right? Our presupposition as a data company is that analytics don't mean much if they're built on bad data, right? So that's the starting point. And you have a great idea of a theory about how to maintain quality data, but how do you get the people out in the business, right, or even in IT, to care about it, to recognize that there will be a downstream impact, and you have to do the good hygiene today to get the good output later on in the process, in the analytics process, and how do you do that socialization, monitoring? So share a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think data quality is very, very important. And when I think about data quality, I think of a few things. One, we are living in a world where consumers' expectations for personalized, relevant, and assisted experiences are growing day by day, which also increases the demand for all the AI, machine learning, and all types of data solutions. And as you know, the AI machine learning's work of finding hidden patterns in large quantities of data. And the golden rule in machine learning is that your algorithms are only as good as the data it's fed. So it is important to have the right quality of data for you to be able to deliver the outcomes. And also, bad quality of data not only will impact the performance of these data solutions and algorithms, but sometimes it can introduce some unintended biases into the system, which can have a huge impact with the customer experience. So that's one. Second, we are actually living in a world where more and more of our decisions are getting automated. And also we are looking for more opportunities to do continuous optimization. So data quality is going to be critical for that. And the third, and in my view, which is more important, is data quality is very, very important to build trust with business stakeholders and senior leaders. And unless you build that trust, it's not going to be easy to get the right level of engagement. So if you build more trust with good quality, then you are going to get more engagement. And if you get more engagement, then there is going to be more consumption of the insights and the data solutions that you deliver, which will then have higher chances of impacting the business outcome and delivering the value. So that's how we try to educate the teams within the company, as well as within the enterprise, the technology groups, on why data quality is important and what are the implications of data quality. And at Best Buy, we have a very strong focus on data quality and governance. So in fact, that's one of the key pillars within the data enablement. And we are working hard to develop all the processes, frameworks, tools, and platforms to drive data quality and effectiveness.
Look, I love sandwiched in between everything you just said, right, about appreciating the value of data and the quality and coming up with the process, and sandwiched in there was stakeholder management and leadership. Hey, listen, thank you, Ethiraj, for joining me today. And thank you, guests, for listening. And please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews.
Thanks, Leonard. And thanks, CDO, for the opportunity.